All right, wish I had better news, but I don't. Tech just left here. We spent all morning diagnosing the hydraulic problems on this tractor, the one we plant with. Bottom line is, still really don't know what's wrong with it. No, remote number one is not getting full flow. We did put a flow meter on there. It's not getting full flow. We changed some check valves, we changed some priority valves, and nothing fixed it. But he said that there's he hears a noise coming from the hydraulic pump that he does not like, and he thinks there could be a problem with a gear in there or pump going bad. And when it finally does go bad, if that's in fact the problem, this thing basically becomes a big cast iron block. Won't move, no steering, no brakes, no nothing. So right now we got kind of dilemma. We're done planting soybeans, thank goodness, and with the forecast, we're not going to plant any cotton this week. I got a target date of next Monday to get started planting on cotton, but I really can't do it with a bum tractor, especially a tractor that could just stop at any point in time. So what our plan is now is we're going to drop the planter, take the duals off. One of my neighbors, actually the one that we helped finish up picking cotton last year, is going to let us borrow his truck and lowboy trailer. And we're going to haul it up to Union City to where the tech can get started working on it, because he's going to start off by pulling the tires off on this side to access the hydraulic pump and everything. And there's a bunch of real intricate stuff, pipes, wires, O-rings, fittings, a bunch of crap on this thing that he's going to have to pull off and try and diagnose to try and find exactly what the problem is. But he said that would be the next step to do. He's already checked everything else, and everything else is fine. And also, I don't know if I mentioned it, but the transmission issues that we faced last planting have kind of popped their ugly head again, along with a couple other transmission gremlins. But the thing is that all of this stuff might be related to the same problem. Hopefully, let's keep our fingers crossed. But yeah, when the CVT is really not wanting to, when it's under load, is not wanting to shift ranges. It just kind of jerks trying to engage the next range, but never actually does. Also, whenever I push in the clutch when it's under load, it throws the transmission straight into neutral. So we got several things going on here that hopefully are related to the same thing, but knowing our luck, there's probably multiple issues. So anyway, that's what we're going to do now. Pull the duals off, get this thing loaded onto the trailer, haul it an hour north to Union City to where they can find out just exactly how much they're going to lighten my wallet. Fancy. So you got tie down chains and other stuff on there, so that's something we're really lacking in.
No, that's the one thing they don't.
Tape ain't gonna keep it from popping off.
Make me feel better though.
Well, because this thing is still technically a wide load, you think I need to go in front of you with a service truck and the warning lights? Because we got no flags, no lights on the truck, no speedometer, just in case. We still ain't gonna be legal, but we'll be a little bit closer to legal.
We'll be legaler.
I know Zach's on cloud 9. He's getting to drive a shiny red Peterbilt today. It's gonna be a dream come true for him. Unfortunately, it's not a dream come true for me because it's another thing added to the long line of list of stuff that is tore up this year and that we gotta scramble and fix. Thought we went into this year in real good shape for all our equipment, but man, it's just been one thing after another. Even more so than usual, it seemed like. Well, we got about an hour drive ahead of us and we'll be pulling into the lot. I tell you what, I sure hate this happened. Painted my rear. But it's a pretty dang nice afternoon to be having a nice long drive with the windows down. Just kind of sit here and relax a little bit, just go down the road. And we made it. Got her sitting behind the gate. Just talked to the service manager. They're going to get it in first thing in the morning, get it tore down, and see if they can figure out what the heck is wrong with it. But they did some checking on parts that they might need, and you know, the shortage of stuff this year has just been horrendous. And it sounded like most everything they need was available for overnight shipment from Atlanta, so we got that going for us. But knowing my luck, there'll be one random obscure part that's no longer produced or back ordered. Well, let's see. Let's wait for the phone call and keep y'all updated as I know what's going on. All right, since we can't plant because we don't have a tractor, just trying to get a bunch of odds and ends done, getting all of our leftover seed boxes, chemical stuff organized, get trucks cleaned out of all planting stuff, getting stuff ready to send back to the get ready to send stuff back to the chem company that we didn't use, and then we're gonna get in the shop and start fixing all the many things that tore up during corn and soybean planting. All right, Zach's working on salvaging some usable parts off one of my old chemical pumps. Gave that rough old GMC a quick cleanup. Hate driving around in a dirty truck. And now we got this back in the shop. Yes, the repair work we did on this winter was fabulous. It did not leak any seed out of that boot up there. Performed flawlessly. However, the control did not perform flawlessly. We got it out to the field and found out that my switch didn't work, so Zach had to operate the throttle manually while I filled up a seed and Kelly watched the scale. Brought it in here Sunday, fixed the switch, is working. Filled up my planter the next time, got halfway through the planter and the switch quit working again. Try and figure out where this solenoid is not getting electricity from. All right, you want to hit that switch and all right, that switch is not sending any voltage to it. Might be up there where we got those wire nuts at. There we go. Yep, there's those butt connectors up there. All right, one item more ready to tear up again. Since we're down one tractor, we are playing musical equipment in order just to get things in and out of the shop. Well, we got several things we got to do to this. First thing is we need to replace one of the load cells on our gauge wheels that works with the Delta Force. I think it's number 16 told me that the load cell went bad, so Here on the front, we got 13, 14, 15, 16, so it's fourth one over. First thing we'll do is pull that load cell out and replace it. Well, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if Kenzie done a better design of how to get these blasted things in and out. All right, in case you're wondering, this is what a load cell looks like. The arm that the gauge wheels run on, where you set your depth, runs through there, and when it's up, when the gauge wheels are up or against the stop, it pulls on this, and there's a load cell or weight cell in here somewhere. Don't really know how it works, but you know, in the 2.5 years I've run this new Kenzie planter with all this precision stuff on there, I mean, the precision stuff works fantastically. I mean, beyond my wildest dreams when it's working though. However, even though a lot of this stuff, including the wiring harnesses, seem extremely robust and almost indestructible, unfortunately, that's not what we have had. That has not been the case. This is what, maybe our 8th or 9th load cell in 3 years that we replaced. It's the 3rd one this year that we replaced, and it seems like all the problems we've had with load cells have been on the front units, which that just might be a problem with the design of the Kenzie planters, because with these units being on the front and the transport wheels being on the back, whenever you encounter any washouts or anything like that, these front units are really going up and down a lot and taking a lot of abuse, which might be what's contributing to load cell failures. I don't know. And plus, we've had problems with wiring harnesses too. Haven't had any problems with wiring harnesses this year, but in the past we've had to replace several wiring harnesses. But overall, the systems, I mean, when they're working, are really awesome. But what we're seeing now is, since this is basically an electrical planter and you start having electrical problems, the planter doesn't run. And in this day and age, getting electrical supplies, replacement parts, is extremely difficult, if not impossible. In fact, this was the last load cell that the H&R dealer had. And what I'm hearing is getting any parts from Precision Planting right now is they're just not available. They're not there. So I've got to call into several other places to trying to source some more load cells, because this is probably not going to be the last one that goes out today. And you know, just we keep our fingers crossed and pray that all the electrical systems on this planter, you know, hold together for 500 more acres of cotton and 525 more acres of soybeans. So anyway, what else we got to do to the planter? See a problem there? When we went through this planter this winter, all those bearings were fine. And then 85 acres of soybeans, all the closing wheels, well, probably at least half of the bearings in the closing wheels on the front units have decided to go kaput. So we're going to replace the bearings in all the closing wheels just to make sure we don't have any more problems, because when it's go time on planting, we don't need to be wasting time changing bearings when we have a wheel go down. So all of them going to be getting replaced. And then these front disc openers right here, we're going to re-shim them, even though Zach went through this winter and shimmed them all up properly. Just the planting just kind of loosened things up, and if you can see, there's a little gap in between there, and you want at least 1.5 inches of contact, those blades contacting, so you got a nice clean furrow. So you're gonna have to take some shims out to move these disc blades closer together. And then Zach's already getting set over for cotton, because we're gonna raise all these front units up. He's getting the row cleaners already adjusted all the way up, and then on all the rear units, got to vacuum the what little bit of soybean seeds left in there and change out to our cotton plates, because that's going to be the next thing we're going to do, is plant cotton when and if we get our tractor back.
Please don't say if.
Well, it is Griggs Farms. If is a very real possibility out here. Y'all hear that? Practically a brand new air fitting and already leaking air. Does nobody make any air hardware stuff that's worth a crap anymore? If y'all got any better ideas, let me know in the comments. And no, it's not leaking around the threads or that. We did put it on right. First thing, what we need to do, part of our hydraulic problem that I've been complaining about, especially on the Delta Force system, is we didn't account for something when we put this air compressor on here this winter. On one remote, I've got the hydraulic downforce, the Delta Force on there. Also running the alternator to provide the power for all my electric drives, running it on the same circuit. And then this winter, we also added the furrow force air compressor on that same circuit. And after doing some calculating, all three of those three things, when they're running, are pulling about 16 gallons per minute of hydraulic flow. That's the requirement. Well, the problem is we're running 1/2-inch hydraulic hose for that one circuit, and what Precision Planting tells me is that 1/2-inch hose is only good for about 12 gallons per minute. So that's why we're seeing pressure fluctuations in the downforce, especially when the air compressor kicks on. That hose just can't supply enough hydraulic flow to all three things, regardless of what's going on the tractor, which we've got issues on there too, which is still up in Union City. Technician found out that it is, he says it's sucking air, not sure where, but hopefully get that figured out today. So what Zach and I are going to do first thing this morning is pull this 1/2-inch hydraulic hose from there all the way down the tongue, up the main post, right over there. Yes, that hose is going to be very expensive. I'm probably going to tell Zach just to don't even tell me how much it costs. And that ain't necessarily the worst part. The worst part is that it runs through the tongue right there. And getting it out ain't necessarily going to be the hardest thing. It's going to be getting it back in there. You got your vocabulary prepared? Because I think we're probably going to be using it.
I wonder if it would be better to back this thing out and unfold it. If it would be easier to...
How are we going to unfold it?
Damn, I got the control box. Forgetting that.
Yeah, what you see right now is what you get, because we got no control box or anything to do. All we can do is hook to the hitch and drag it around the yard like a boat anchor right now. That's all we can do. Well, standing around debating, not gonna get it done. We'll bring you back after we got good and frustrated. All right, well, we got the easy part done.
So what do you want to do about right here at the junction?
I'm gonna take one of those fittings out. If there's no way we can get a 5/8 fitting in there, we'll just have to cut that junction out.
Just put JICs right there.
Yep, put 2 JIC fittings. Are you gonna take a bet on how many feet of hose that is?
Together or each?
Combined.
65 feet?
I'm gonna guess 100.
It's gonna be somewhere in between that 65 and 100.
Probably so. I hope it's a lot closer to 65 than it is 100. Well, the shop is 65 feet long, and each one by itself goes 2/3 of the way down.
It's about 80 foot hose.
All right, we'll split the 100 foot pot then, since we was each exactly halfway past. All right, Zach just got back with a new 5/8 inch hose. Now the fun part of getting this sucker routed through there. All right, we ready to run it through?
Yep.
Exactly. All right, let's run that
That's
one
the
in.
pressure line.
Run that one. All right, now stick the other one.
That was the right one. I think I was pushing when you were.
Oh, heck, the other one came through with it too. All right. Pull it back a little bit. All right. All right. All right. Well, that's the hard part. We finally got installed. It only took 3 trips back to Humboldt to get the right fittings and adapters up there, but we got it installed. Sure wish we could test it out somehow.
We were dead on the money on length though.
What was the final tally? I'll plug my ears.
755.
For how many feet of hose?
81 feet of hose and all the fittings.
81 feet of hose, all the fittings, $755, and then the fittings I had to give was like $60, so $810 added to the cost of adding this stuff on here last winter that we should have done last winter instead of during the middle of planting season. But it should work good now, but we don't have the tractor with all of our planting stuff on there to be able to hook it up and run it and test it. I mean, the only thing we can do is hook up the hydraulic hoses and make sure there ain't gonna be no leaks, but I tighten everything myself, so I know there's not gonna be any leaks. And the only thing we got left to do to this, I believe, is just change it over to cotton, get the seed out of the back hoppers and put the seed plates on.
It'd be way easier if we had that other tractor.
It'd sure be easier if we could just like unfold the planter. More money going out the door today. Our cotton seed and cotton planting supplies just arrived. Alright, what you see there in seed, and we're still missing about 10 bags of seed of a new technology trait that's coming. It's still being shipped out. Got about 10 more bags coming. But once those 10 bags get here, this seed you see, worth about $68,000. Yes, cotton seed is that expensive. It's running real close to $600 a bag. Each bag's got 230,000 seeds in it and will cover about 6.2 acres per bag with the rate I'm planting. And that ain't even counting the chemicals. I think that's probably about another $10,000 in chemicals that we got there. And what Zach's about to put on the truck. All right, Zach got the planter finished up, so we got some more stuff tore up. Roller crimper. This thing really takes a beating. You see right through there, this weld starting to crack that keeps the hitch mounted on. So I'm gonna weld this up. But first, remember from our very last corn harvest video, our sprayer blew a hydraulic hose in the worst possible spot. Well, the hose on this side is looking pretty rough too. See, rubber missing there is down to the cords there, and up here the exact same one that blew on the other side. So before we have another mishap like we had the other day, we're gonna go ahead and replace this hose too. Not really the way I want to spend my Friday, but it'd be better than spending a Wednesday when it's 90 degrees stuck in the middle of the road, because that's probably where it's gonna blow again. Well, for the first time all year, I'm actually happy to see some rain, because we need to plant cotton, but we got no tractor to plant with, so not like we could be planting today anyway.